Hello, everyone. My name is Jenna Douglas, and I am delighted to have the honor of introducing today's keynote speaker, Governor Thomas Kean. Over the past 2 years here, I have matured as a leader, member of my community, student, and more importantly, as an individual. Whether it is straight into the workforce or continuing on to earn a bachelor's degree, RVCC has provided us with the necessary skills for the endless opportunities that are to come. The remarkable education we have received is just the beginning for all of us. It is an education that has been both praised and supported by Governor Kean himself. As Governor of New Jersey, he prioritized education like no other. He enforced statewide teacher salaries, created new ways for teacher certification, and strengthened the relationship between higher education and private sector technology resources. He also demonstrated his support for the arts by funding the development of the New Jersey Performing Arts Center. He is now known as one of the most distinguished governors in our history. After the 9/11 attacks, the governor was appointed the chair of the 9/11 Commission that resulted in the largest intelligence reform in the nation. His presidency at Drew University clearly demonstrates his continued commitment towards quality education. He has been an integral part of the Raritan Valley community, helping to sponsor some of the finest locations here on campus, and has visited the college many times. Governor Kean has shown true devotion to higher education and commitment to the success of our students. I cannot fully describe the great amount of achievements Governor Kean has made. However, this attempts to express his commendable leadership and service to our nation, state, and school. So on behalf of the RVCC student body, I would like to express our infinite gratitude for your continued support to our school and our dreams, and welcome Governor Thomas Kean.
Jenna, thank you. Thank you very much, and congratulations, class of 2017. You're terrific, and you're going on to great things. You know, being here on a day like this reminds me of probably my best graduation speech I ever gave. It was up at Fairleigh Dickinson, and it wasn't a day where rain had been predicted. But as we were out there outside, all of a sudden the rain came pouring down. And so we started the ceremony. And the president and the officials went on normally for about 6 or 7 minutes of the ceremony. And then they introduced me. Now, if you were part of the official party, you were under a canopy and you were dry. But as I looked out at the students, and I looked out at the faculty, they were sitting like that, and they were drenched. And the rain was pouring down. I looked out at them and I said, "Congratulations, it's raining," and sat down. I got a 2-minute standing ovation. You're not so lucky today, you're indoors. But I do think, you know, the graduation speaker is sort of like the body at an Irish wake. You know, I'm essential for the ceremony, but you don't really expect me to do too much. But today, you know, as we talked here together, the world's in turmoil in so many different ways. I don't have to remind you that there's an obligation which comes with your degree here. Not just to use it to earn a living, but maybe even to serve a larger purpose. We need you to help restore what I call the fabric of our society. You've had the privilege of learning at a great institution where diversity is an everyday fact of life. You've sat in classrooms and labs and studios with people from a great tapestry of backgrounds. Together, you've asked questions about truth and beauty, about science and literature, economics and medicine. You've seen what can happen when people of goodwill transcend their differences and get to know and get to understand each other. I'm sure you've discovered that for all the differences you may have, there is so much more that unites you than that divides you. Now, somehow, we need to bring that recognition back into public life. Our country is becoming more and more diverse, and that's a good thing, but in some ways more and more divisive as well. We have to work, and we have to work hard at understanding each other. Otherwise, it's going to be me on CNN and you on Fox, and never the twain will meet. Several years ago, the historian Arthur Schlesinger wrote a book called The Disuniting of America. And his point was that unlike many, many countries around the world, the United States isn't connected in any way by a common ethnic heritage. Instead, we're held together by ideas, our belief in equality, individual liberty, the rule of law, human rights, opportunity for everybody, our belief in our principles that we read in the Declaration of Independence or the Constitution or the Bill of Rights. And if we don't understand this and we abandon those ideas, then it's going to be very, very difficult for us to hold this country together. Well, it's very hard to build on those ideas if we're not talking to each other. And the problem is especially bad in Washington. Last year, the Republicans were the party of no. This year, it's the Democrats. It used to be different. I had a father who served in Congress, and on Sunday afternoons, he was a Republican, the committee chair was a Democrat, used to come over to our house on Sunday afternoon, and two of them would talk, and they'd decide what's really important for us to get done in the committee in the next week. Different parties, different backgrounds, different views, but it didn't matter. They had a goal together to try and serve the people. And there weren't exceptions by any means. Let me give you one example of the way it used to be. You know, the best example I can think of is a name that you know so well on this campus, Senator Ray Bateman. Yeah, that's the Bateman that you've heard of from the Bateman Center for Student Life and Leadership. And a guy who built this campus in so many, many ways. He is one of the most decent men that I have ever known. And let me say why I single him out now. Not for the fact he built this college, not for his leadership in higher education, not for any of that. Because his bottom line was always, what's best for the public? What can I do to make this state a better place? He was a loyal Republican, but he worked all the time with Democrats and found ways to agree to get something done for the state. He respected them, and they respected him. It's hard to find a Bateman bill that didn't have bipartisan sponsorship. Under his leadership, we had some of the most respected and responsible legislators in this state's entire history because people worked together. They believed in him and they believed in he was the leader of the Senate and he got things done. I've tried to follow his example, and I think we all should try to follow that example. I remember when I was appointed chairman of the 9/11 Commission. I was the outsider. Everybody else in that commission was from Washington. And when I walked into the room to meet them all, the Democrats were sitting over here, and the Republicans were sitting on the other side. And I thought I have to set some ground rules here. So the first ground rule I set as chairman was, look, from now on, a Democrat is never going to sit next to a Democrat when we meet, and a Republican is never going to sit next to a Republican. We're going to be bipartisan. And so from then on, every committee meeting we had, every public hearing we had, and we were televised nationally, it was one or the other. And we tried to work that way. I got a call, I remember when I was just appointed, from a fellow called Tim Russett, who used to run a program called Meet the Press that some of you may have seen. And because I was a new guy in town, everybody wanted me on the programs. So So he called and said, we'd love to have you. He offered to send a plane for me to send me down to meet the press. And I said, okay, but I'd like you also to invite my Democratic vice chairman, Lee Hamilton, so we can be on together. And he paused a minute and then said, I want you to understand, in Washington, guests don't invite guests. We'd like you, maybe we'll have Mr. Hamilton another time. And I said, okay, we'll get another person for next Sunday then, because I'm not coming. And he said, okay, and we hung up. 15 minutes later, the phone rang. We'd be delighted to have you and Mr. Hamilton. But the result was that we set that example for the commission, and we said to the other commissioners, whenever you get invited on television, if you're a Republican, bring a Democrat. If you're a Democrat, bring a Republican. And what we did is learn to trust each other. And so when it came time to issue a report, we issued a unanimous report. People tell me it's the last important unanimous bipartisan thing that's been done in the last 10 or 12 years. Now, we need, therefore, to get to know each other as we did in that commission. It's the only way we'll discover that there's far more we have in common than we have that divides us. And also we'll learn, by the way, that compromise is not a dirty word. It's what founded this country, compromise. Now, civility. Civility is not necessarily agreement. It isn't capitulation. It's respect for the people who hold opposing views and a willingness to accept that they may have very good reasons for holding those views. And the more you're open to talking to each other, the less you really have to win that argument and just have the discussion, the more likely it is you're going to find common ground and see that your opponent doesn't have to be your enemy. You both want the same big picture things. You want freedom. You want opportunity. You want the chance to make a better life for yourself and for your family. The great African-American leader, Paul Robeson. Yeah, that's the Paul Robeson of your Paul Robeson Institute. He used to sing a song called The House I Live In. It asked the question, what is America to me? The song went on to speak about the words of old Abe Lincoln, of Jefferson and Payne, of Washington and Douglas, and the task that still remains. He sang about all races and religions, about the right to speak your mind out. And Robeson's song concluded with these simple words: the house I live in, the goodness everywhere, a land of wealth and beauty with enough for all to share, a house that we call freedom, the home of liberty, but especially the people. That's America to me. Graduates, by coming here to Raritan, you've made a terrific start in your life. You've learned from exceptional professors and gifted students, people from all sorts of backgrounds and beliefs. And always remember, never forget what your Raritan education has meant to you. Remember also that others made sacrifices to get you here. So I urge you, honor your Raritan degree. Turn it into a career of integrity and achievement. Use it to improve our world around you. Get to know people, get to understand them, build relationships in your workplace, your neighborhood, your house of worship, your Facebook group. Help us to preserve those precious ideas that at our best define this country. Help us to break this gridlock. Again, congratulations to 2017.
Hi, welcome. My name is Tracy DeFrancesco, and I'm here to give the honorary degree to Governor Kean. So I'm going to read straight from it. Raritan Valley Community College bestows upon Thomas H. Kean Associate of Arts degree, honoris causa, on this day, Saturday, May 13th, 2017. In recognition of your exemplary leadership and service to our state and nation, your vision and dedication to advancing higher education as a great gateway to greater opportunities for New Jersey students and families, your compassion and commitment to the success of Raritan Valley Community College and its students, and for instilling the value of public service to generations of young people.